Happy Tuesday, everyone. So, recently, a violent sex fiend named Darrell Brooks had been released from jail after posting a minimal bond for punching the mother of his child and then trying to run her over. Now, you'd think this guy, who had outstanding warrants, wouldn't have been let out, much less allowed back in the same damn car he used to run over a human being. But of course, he was, and then he drove his SUV into a crowd of people in a parade, killed a bunch of them, and kept on going. I'm guessing he wasn't heading to a Father of the Year ceremony. So how would you describe that? NBC called it a crash, which is like calling Joy Behar chatty. I guess fender bender was too wordy. Quote, authorities have said that Brooks fled the scene of a domestic disturbance just before the crash. It isn't clear if he has another lawyer for the charges related to Sunday's crash. So just a crash, guys. Act of God, an honest mistake. You know, Brooks was probably on his way to help victims of white supremacy, and those dead white people were just trying to stop him. Sorry, I was channeling MSNBC for a minute there. But it's stories like these that show you how the media works. They use the lens of race on every story until the colors change. And that's because the lens of race only curves in one direction, which makes one think that maybe the lens shouldn't be used at all. Because when a story like this appears involving a black suspect, they turn the race filter off, which shows you that they don't report reality, they only create it when it suits them. CNN spends more time in Wonderland than Alice, with Chris Cuomo and Don Lemon as Tweedledee and Tweedledummer. This story won't flood the airwaves like so many stories that led to riots and death. I mean, who's going to protest for the people who suffered at the hands of this evil, violent man? Who will make murals for his victims or name streets after them? See, that just won't work today. Remember what CNN said just days before. There's nothing more frightening than an angry white man. So pity for CNN that Brooks is black with a long criminal history. But maybe the press can spin this into he's a white supremacist. I mean, black folks can be white supremacists too, according to the press. Just ask Grand Cyclops Larry Elder. Can you imagine Jeff Zucker's disappointment when he found the driver was black? I mean, how am I going to pay for that new house on the Vineyard or the one on St. Bart's? So what do you do when the narrative doesn't fit? Well, let's ask Mary Lemansky. The Illinois Democrat was the social media director for the Democrats in DuPage County, but not anymore, after she called the murderous rampage karma for Rittenhouse. According to her, karma's a bitch. But according to me, so is she. Lemansky also claims she's a comedian that works with Second City Improv. And with material that bad, she could definitely write for Kimmel. Meanwhile, the squad keeps pushing for abolishing federal prisons and excessive bail. But to them, excessive bail is any bail at all. It's crazy, pushing for more bail reform the same day a felon kills 5 people while out on bail. That's like pushing for more Wuhan labs after a COVID outbreak. Maybe it's me, but I'm thinking maybe bail should be higher than Hunter Biden on a trip to Peru. And maybe certain maniacs shouldn't be bailed out at all. On Monday, AOC demanded answers on excessive bail. AOC loves demanding answers, like which designer dress to wear to a gala, or how to fake cry without cutting onions. It's the serious questions she always gets wrong. Apparently, she has not walked the streets of NYC lately, where violent criminals are in and out of jail like Brian Stelter's in and out of Baskin-Robbins. She's good, though. She has more security than the Pope running out at night for a pack of smokes. What she really needs around her is a straitjacket and a padded room. Meanwhile, her even dumber cohort, Rashida Tlaib, tried to explain her support for a law that would empty prisons. It's called the Breathe Act, and if it passes, there will be a lot of innocent people who no longer breathe.
Everyone's like, oh my God, we're going to just release everybody. That's not
That's
what
what the fact
Yeah,
says.
but did you see how many people are mentally ill that are in prison right now?
No, I know, but the act that you
So
endorsed actually says release everyone
but
in 10 years.
But think about it, who will release
But there are like human traffickers,
I know.
child sex. Your proposal is so sweeping. It does release everyone. And what I'm trying to say to you
within 10 years, and
Yeah.
obviously there's a process of looking at how can we get away from mass incarceration and move towards care first.
Well, at least she's not smug. Wow. She makes the cast of The View look like rocket scientists. So remember, Brooks killed a bunch of people after being set free weeks ago. That's a consequence of the squad's beliefs: resentment, fanaticism, a lust to punish anyone who doesn't think like they do. But we cannot forget the Milwaukee DA, John Chisholm, who relentlessly pushed cash bail reform because he says it criminalizes poverty. In a 2007 interview, he said, "Is there going to be an individual that I divert or I put into a treatment program who's going to go out and kill somebody? You bet. Guaranteed. It's guaranteed to happen. It does not invalidate the overall approach." So there you go. The fact that criminals take innocent lives will not invalidate their beliefs in letting these criminals out. The consequences of their actions can't even change their minds. But hey, I guess you can say something good about Brooks. He didn't cross state lines. Let's welcome tonight's guest. If you remember her from MTV, you're old enough for Relief Factor. Host of Kennedy on Fox Business, Kennedy. Ladies, he's recently divorced. Funny, and he can fly when he flaps his ears. Comedian, writer, and actor Jamie Lissow. After she blew into a breathalyzer and had to go to rehab, Fox News contributor Kat Tiff. And the big and tall store is really just baby Gap to him. My massive sidekick in the NWA's World Television Champion, Taurus. So, Jamie, there's a lot of stuff going on with this story, but I have a feeling you're more interested in the Tweety lady.
Yeah.
The lady that tweeted that it was karma.
Yeah, the Tweety lady, when I read her tweet, and then I saw that she was an improv actress, I was like, oh, that's why they're not funny.
Yes.
And I don't mean to dump on like improv people, but you guys, I dated someone that was in an improv troupe. It was like the worst relationship I've ever been in. Wow. It's just unbelievably stressful. Like I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so hungry, and she would go, name a restaurant, and I would go Japanese, and we're in a Japanese restaurant. I'm like, no, we're not. I'm starving. But it was good in the bedroom because you're like, can we try this? And she's like, yes, and. I recommend if you ever go to an improv group and they go, give me an occupation, actually give them one.
But she's no longer the media director for the Democrats. That happened right before we were taping the show. So I would call that karma in a strange way. Kennedy, what do you make of this bad timing, or is there any good timing with what the squad's calling for on the day after this happens?
So whenever they open their mouths and talk about criminal justice reform as a libertarian, and Kat will give me a what on this, I go, this is why we can't have nice things.
Right.
Because when you send dumb people out to talk about really complex and important issues, they ruin it for everybody. Mm-hmm. Because you can't say, let's empty out the federal prisons like it's a Cracker Jack box.
Yeah.
Because all the investors who are guilty of white-collar crimes, they would be freed too. And if you did that, the squad would lose their minds. Mm-hmm. There are smart ways of doing things so you don't criminalize behavior that is consensual, things like prostitution or certain drug transactions.
Right.
People shouldn't be in prison for those kind of things. When you beat up your baby mama and try and run her over with a car, that's attempted murder. You should be in prison for a long, long time. When you're going to hurt someone and try and take their life, there's a good chance you're going to try and do that to other people. Those are the kind of people potentially that should be incarcerated. There are many, many people in this country who shouldn't be, but I don't think anyone in the squad is smart enough to make that list that's actually trustworthy.
Okay, everything you said seems like something that, Kat, they would have covered before you do this. It's like, all right, we're going to do this bail reform thing, but we shouldn't let out the really, really bad guys.
Right.
We should only do the stuff that's consensual, whether it's sex work or it's drugs. But we shouldn't let out any of the people that kill each other. You know, that would be bad. But it's almost like they went forward with this idea of comprehensive bail reform without ever even thinking about what consequences might come, except when they did, they go, yeah, people might die, but this is better.
Yeah, well, because they think that they just want to one-up each other all the time. I don't think that they're talking to other people. It's like, okay, well, they probably started there, Kennedy, with like maybe a good idea, and they're like, no, nobody in prison ever. And all the other ones don't want one of them to be the most woke one.
Yeah. So
then they just have to say, yes, exactly. And I'm surprised that, AOC didn't come and say, actually, we should do it in 9 years, 8 years. And they just go dead. Because that's what happens when you're with your friends.
Right.
You do dumb you would not have done if you weren't trying to impress your friends.
This goes back to the one, we are dying of, in these liberal cities, of a one-party system. New York City, we can talk for days and weeks and years about crime, but it doesn't matter because it's just the Democratic Party. That's all there is. They don't have to change at all. And bail reform, you can do whatever you want because there's no Republican Party there, right?
No, and again, people are scared to say anything to them because they'll smear you as a racist in 2 seconds.
Yes. Said the racist.
Thank you.
Yes. Tyrus, what are your thoughts on this?
I think I can put a button in all this.
Okay.
I've been racking my brain trying to figure out why certain politicians, in this case the squad, say the things they say, and it all just kind of came together right now. I got goosebumps. They're improv politicians. So they go into a meeting and they say, give me a subject, and someone says, prisons. Okay, free them. Okay. Do we have money here? No. We'll take away the money. Oh my God, let's get this passed. That's how they're just winging it. It just sounds good. In that interview, she tried one of the things that has anyone ever had a girlfriend, friend who was lying to you, but they try to sweet lie to you, where they, like, I'm having an affair with your brother, but they say it cute. I'm having an affair with your brother. And it's wonderful, and I'm sorry you have to move out. But because I said it so sweet, you can't really get mad at me. So it's a lot of improv. Yeah, a lot of improv.
Why are you yelling at me?
Hold on.
Yes, none of your children are yours.
Let's take a break. Let's take a break. Stop down. And then you try to compose yourself, and then we'll continue.
I did wipe your bank account out, and I am sorry. So let's just think, new house, you moving out, and it's cold.
The other thing, too, is well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know this bill is like super controversial, but it's getting a ton of support from prisoners. I don't know if you saw that.
Across the board.
Yeah, they're all like, we won't see any problem with it at all.
Exactly. All right. We will stop on that.